Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you very much for joining me again for another card making tutorial, and this video supports my project for the Inspire.Create.Challenge design team post. This time we are actually casing one of the other designers, so we are casing Jo Blackman. Look on the blog post and you'll see her original card, but the essential elements on her card was that she has used some designer series paper of some kind to make a pattern on the bottom half of a card, and used a punch, all that jazz. So her card is actually a landscape card, which is more like this one with the punch turned around, but you know me, I don't really like landscape cards, so I've flipped it on its head and I've made these two landscape versions using that sketch as a jumping board. Okay, and then so this uses Purple Posy and the Playing with Patterns designer series paper. So Purple Posy cardstock will be retiring to one of the in colours, as will this pack of paper, which also contains Purple Posy, which is why I chose it. It's called Playing with Patterns. You can see how much I've used it. I mean, there's just all sorts cut out of it, but there's Calypso Coral in this. It's actually crushed curry, Night of Navy, Purple Posy, and Coastal Cabana as well. Really, really cute set of paper. So I thought, well, we're scrap busting here. So, and don't forget, you can use any designer series paper. Just coordinate your surrounding products. I've also used the Playing with Patterns ribbon with the Purple Posy, and this is the Daffodil Delight ruched ribbon or crinkled ribbon to coordinate. I brought in Gorgeous Grape for the ink colour. We don't have a Purple Posy ink pad. Okay, so that was my my trial run, if you like. I then decided that I was going to make something with bolder colours, so I felt like the design lent itself to the bold colours really. So I switched out, same pack of paper but using the Calypso Coral side of that. I've brought in Early Espresso as well, and actually the card base is terracotta tile. So again, that's another retiring cardstock. This is the ribbon that goes with Forever Fern. So it comes with this sort of vanilla-y kind of colour and some gold trim, so that's retiring too. And the punch I've used here is a Story Label punch, also a retiring punch. So as filming this, the products I'm using are still available. And these epoxy gems as well, those are going to. So loads of retiring product going on here. And yeah, so like I say, at the time of filming, these were all still available. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sort of this layout in this colourway for the video today. Alright, so I think I'm going to keep those up there in front of me so that I can refer to them. When I'm chatting away, I sometimes lose track of where I am. So I've prepped a terracotta tile card base, so we'll keep that to one side. I've got a scrap of Daft Delight and Very Vanilla for our sentiments when we're ready to do it, and I've got 2 pieces of Early Espresso here. So they're 5 3/4 long, so my normal card layer, okay, and I've got a 2-inch strip and I've got a 2 1/8 of an inch strip. Okay, so you'll see why I've got the extra strip as we make the card. So we're going to build our design onto this strip here. Just gonna put that to one side just for a second while I bring in this silicone craft sheet. Okay, so I've already cut a number of strips of this paper. Now then, so I'm cutting it that way. So this was it's 3 1/4 inch section that I've cut off. The other half I used for the other project. Okay, so it's 3 1/4 that way, and we're going to slice off 1/2" strips. So I've already done that with the 2 other patterns. So I'm just going to, just for the sake of completeness, I'm just going to show you. So when I'm cutting small pieces, I like to use this side of the trimmer. So I'm going to put it in and line it up with the 1/2" side on the right hand side of the blade instead of the left. And we can probably get maybe 3, maybe 4 more strips out of that. I'd rather have too many than too few. And as it's retiring, I want to get it used up anyway, so that's no bother. So that bit's not going to be used. So we've got 4 extra strips there that we can use on the project. Okay, that we'll just gather together there. And I'm just going to put those in little piles over there. I'm using my craft sheet here because we're going to overhang the strips, and I don't want to get my surface too messy. In fact, you know what? I'm going to bring in my other mat as well. I've got 2 of these around so that I can get all this sticky stuff out of the way. I'm using my tape runner purely for speed, really. So if you would prefer to use something else, then go ahead and use it. If you would like to use your wet glue, so you've got a bit of manoeuvrability, then you use whatever you want. So I'm taking my first pattern, and I am not exactly planning this as such, if you know what I mean. I'm just gonna start somewhere-ish, not necessarily in the middle. I'm gonna put that first strip there. No particular rhyme and reason why. And then I'm going to put this strip this way, leaving a small gap. Because your ends are square, you just want to leave that gap. Okay, so you're going to have lots of overhangs and stuff. Now we might be able to trim off some of those little bits and use them, but we'll see how we get on. So then we take our next pattern. So I'm going to take 2 of the next pattern. So it might be that those end bits will fill in our little pieces at the end. Okay, so this next strip is going to go along here. So keeping this edge as straight as you can and this edge as straight as you can, and trying to keep that gap as even as you can. Okay, there's a lot going on this card, so you know, just give yourself a break. If it's not quite right, then it's not quite right. And in fact, I think this is probably going to go a little bit different to the other one. I can feel it like it's drifting off. Maybe I've chosen the wrong angle to start with. I didn't do any maths or anything on this. I just went for it, and it's just so happened to work out. So maybe it'll be alright. I don't know. Okay, next one. Which one haven't we used? We haven't used this sort of washy one. Okay. And again, we'll do exactly what we did before. I hope I'm lining it up along here and keeping it straight along this edge as well. And then I do like to turn it. I just find it easier just to keep things lined up if I've got them the right way around. Stick that one down. And then we start again. So we want the spotty one now. Okay. So we'll start with this one. Oops. Okay. And then this one. You see how I was able to just peel that off that sheet, ready to use. In fact, you could probably do that. You could probably get them all sort of glued up, and then okay. So our next one, we only need a little teeny tiny piece, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a bit off this one because I can. Okay, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors because we're going to cut all this off at the end. So that's going to be plenty to cover up that portion there. Okay. So I'm going to put plenty of adhesive on there. And then just cover that corner. Like so. Now I've decided that I'm keeping things in a sort of uniform pattern. Like, you know, in the sequence, if you like. It may be that you want to mix things up a little bit. Now we'd have to worry about making sure our pattern meets up per se on this because it's going off the edge. So don't worry if it's just hanging off there because it does not make any difference at all to your pattern. Okay, so this one we just got a little slither of this one to add to there. So again, let's just take off some of our excess cardstock there, put plenty of tape on because it's going to be right at the edge. So in fact I'm going to go right over the edge of my strip of paper here because it's all sticking to me. Oh, that sheet's going to keep my surface protected, but I want that to be as secure as it can be to that little teeny tiny corner there. There's only a little bit showing, but we still want to get it covered. Okay, so that's like so, and now we're going to continue coming down this way. So what's after spots? This one. Okay, 2 more strips. Okay, so we need to place this one first this time. Try and keep those spaces as even as possible. And I did think Jo possibly used Blackberry Bliss or something like that on her card as her base layer. Do look at my blog post and you'll see the original card that Jo made. Really stunning card. But the dark colour in the gaps really makes this pop, I think. On my Purple Posy versions, but I don't have the gap between the patterns. I'm going to cut this one in half, I think. It'll be long enough, or maybe just past half. Didn't feel like it had the pop using those pastel-y colours, but it's all very much personal preference. I mean, some people don't like big bold colours like this. Have to say, yellow and orange are not my favourite colours in the world, I have to say. And now we've just got a teeny tiny bit. What comes after spots? A bit of this, another bit of that. Okie dokie. Let's just lop a bit off there then. And we'll put loads of tape on that end to make sure it sticks. Okay, right, so that looks like a right mumble of paper at the moment, and we've got a few strips left over, so there's stuff that you can use there. for another project, should you wish to. So what we need to do now is lift this off our craft sheet. Isn't that brilliant how that happens? And we can just basically cut around these bits now. Okay, so you just need to go around there carefully. So there is going to be glue on the back of these, so it's all going to get a bit messy probably. If you are precious about your scissors, do what I do. These are my sticky scissors. Okay, and this is the stuff, this is the pair I do all my messy stuff with, if you like, and I keep my Stampin' Up paper snips for doing fussy cutting and things like that. The other thing is that if you don't have an extra pair of scissors that you can use for mucky stuff, WD-40 gets scissors really nice and clean, gets the sticky off, and also helps protect them from getting too gunky again. Seems to just give them a bit of a coating, just to get that done. Like so. There we are. It is showing around the edge a little bit. Take your time over it. And I'm going to get this sticky mess out of my way. Okay. And there we have our decorative strip ready to go. Okay, we're going to bring in our second piece of cardstock, and we're going to just layer that on top, so that will give us our sort of little edge, if you like. I'm going to have to trim that a little bit closer, I think. It's not quite as close as I'd want it to be. So let me just, I think being left-handed, doing this kind of thing can be a little bit tricky, because I can't get the scissors close enough to where I want where I want my cut, because of the way the blades go. I might, do you know what, this has happened a couple of times now, I might actually try a pair of left-handed scissors for this kind of thing. Haven't felt the need to get them really, but for things like this where you really want to, sorry, just trying to get all that sticky stuff off the my work surface so it doesn't end up on my card. For this kind of project where you're trying to get something nice and close, it can be a little bit frustrating. Okay, so basically this panel is going to give me my mock edge around the around there, like I'd cut them all to size. Yeah, life was too short to try and do that, so we're going to put plenty of adhesive on there and get that layered up. Like so. Okay, and that's going to go onto our card like this, but before we tack it down, I'm going to put some of the ribbon along it. So I want to cut off a length of this just to sort of wrap around, and then we want some to do our bow with. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of tape there on the front there to secure this towards the bottom, where I'm going to put all my sentiments and things. And then we'll just add some to the back here to secure it at the back. Like so. And this can go onto our card. So again, plenty of adhesive. This is strong stuff. I just want to make sure that we've got that down so that it holds that ribbon in place for me. So I'm just trying to just get my border straight along there. Should have stuck that the other way around so that the ribbon was here so you could see more of the join. You live and learn. You live and learn. Okay, right. The sentiment we are going to, first of all, we need to stamp our sentiments. This comes from Today's Tiles, another retiring stamp set, which I really, really like. I think probably hopefully I'm going to use that again before it disappears entirely. I'm going to use early espresso ink to tie in with our cardstock onto the vanilla to bring in the sort of off-white ribbon. And this is the story label punch, so really pretty punch. I have to say I did not use it as much as I thought I was going to. There's just always so many other things to use. And then we're going to cut another one out of our Daffodil Delight cardstock. This Daffodil Delight one we're going to slice in half ish. So bring back in the silicone craft sheet to help me with this next piece. And we're going to add some adhesive on the sides of that and layer it over this Daffodil Delight piece. Okay, so I usually do it so that these little, I don't know, twirly cornery things just meet up, and then you don't get a jaggedy end. It's sort of smooth at the end. Okay. And that's going to go on towards the bottom there. Okay, so I'm going to put, because this is flat, we can get away with putting dimensionals on both sides of that. It won't be perfectly flat, but it'll be flat enough. Okay, so we're going to put those on like so. I just want enough room, in fact, because this is a thicker ribbon, let's have it a bit higher up on this card. Let's put it about there. Okay. Tie-in ribbon. So because we're adding it on afterwards, I do the bunny ear method. So 2 loops, cross them over and bring them under. And just let the tail flop over. Just let it do its thing in your hands, and then fuss and faff, because that's what we do, we fuss and we faff with ribbons. This is such a soft ribbon, it's almost like, I don't know what you'd call it, it's like cotton ribbon, I guess. It's really lovely though. I like the sort of waffle sort of stitch to it. Glue dots are the #1 thing for really sticking ribbon down properly. I mean, I used the tape on there, but that was just more to secure it than anything. If you want it in place like this, this is the perfect way to do it. Okay, so these big scissors I tend to use for either cutting long straight lines or my fabric, so my ribbons and things. So cutting paper, doubles your scissors. You want nice sharp scissors for cutting ribbon. So there we have our elements there. So we just need to add the embellishments. So what did we use on this one? We used the frosted ones on this one. So let's use the clear ones. Remember, we want to use our rule of 3s, which just looks nice. Okay, so I think we'll have one here and here, and then one here to create our visual triangle. Okay, so obviously using 3s means that you automatically kind of engage that rule that it will obviously make a triangle, but if it just sort of, it brings the design together. Okay, what did we think, people? I think that's cute. Just say, I think if I'd have put that panel on the other way up, I think that design would have been showing a little bit more. We live and learn, don't we? We live and learn. This was the Purple Posy version of this. Okay, I like this one. I think this one's my favourite. And then this was the Posy version of that one. Okay, so there you have it, ladies and gents. If you fancy having a go at interpreting this card and casing it, follow along to my blog post. There's a link there to join in, and you just take a photo of your project, upload it to the blog post, and then we'll pick a winner. If you've liked this video, please do subscribe, share it with your friends, check out all the other designers on the blog as well. That'd be amazing. They'd love your likes and subscribes too. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.